I'm going to show you a vegetarian quiche recipe that is ridiculously easy, and it looks fancy, but it's totally not. This recipe is a great vegetarian weeknight dinner, but it's also great for brunch or even taking to a potluck when you need to bring a vegetarian dish. I'm going to start with 1/4 cup of butter, and I'll just put that in the pan and turn the heat on to about medium-low. Next up, 1 onion. I'm just going to chop this finely and then add it into the butter. I'm going to add asparagus to this quiche, but you could use any green vegetable. Broccoli would be delicious in this, mushrooms are amazing, kind of whatever's in the fridge. When it comes to asparagus, I'm just going to cut off the sort of woody ends at the bottom. Get rid of those. And then I'm left with the stalk and the tip. So because the tip is so pretty, I'm actually going to save the tips for a bit of a garnish. So to do that, those all up like that. Hold on to those tips and then chop them right off. Okay, so save those for after. And then we're going to chop finely and then add them to the onions. And they're going to roll all over the place. So this onion is about half cooked. That means it's just starting to turn a little bit translucent in there. Now, I'll add the asparagus. Damn, asparagus keeps rolling out of the pan. Now, I always use salted butter, which means there's going to be some salt in this mixture. But if you're using unsalted butter or oil in this place, you'd want to add some salt. Help the vegetables to break down. So I think this is getting to be about ready. The asparagus is really bright green. The onion is almost see-through. This is just about ready for the next stage. So remember those tips that I saved? Now they get to go in just for a quick few seconds. And to help the filling set up a little bit, I'm gonna add just a little bit of flour to this. Just a couple tablespoons full of flour sprinkled over top. Here comes the other one. And then really stir that in so it gets totally incorporated with the butter and all of the vegetables. Now I'm gonna finish making the filling. So it's 4 eggs. And a little bit of milk. And then I'm just going to whisk these two together really well. Now I'm going to add some salt. And a bit of pepper if you like. And of course, it wouldn't be a quiche without cheese. So a couple of cups of grated cheese. You can use whatever is in the fridge, whether it's feta cheese, goat cheese, cheddar, anything that you like. Cheese goes with everything. And then of course, I'm going to add all of that asparagus vegetable mixture right into this mix as well. Make sure you scrape all that delicious butter in there, every last bit of onion. I'm gonna just stir all this stuff together. Okay, so the filling is ready for the vegetarian quiche. Now I need to roll out the pastry that's going to be the shell for the quiche. I'm using my homemade pastry for this. I've got a whole video on how to make it. It's really easy. You can also use store-bought. The pastry has chilled, so I'll just unwrap it. And then put a little bit of flour on the surface here. And then some on the pastry. I've got my handy rolling pin here. I find it's easiest to just keep moving the pastry around. That way it doesn't stick to the counter as I'm rolling it out. And I want to make sure this rolls evenly. Oh, even if it rips, don't worry. I want to make sure I roll this out evenly into something that kind of looks like a circle, although that's less important. That's about thin enough. So now I'm going to get it into this 9-inch pie dish. It's just 9 inches across and it's regular depth. This can sometimes require the courage of your convictions, the confidence that I'm giving you right now. Get your hands under there. Make sure the pie dish is quite close. 1, 2, 3. No problem. Ripped a little bit? No problem. Now is the fixing stage. So anywhere that it kind of cracked, I can patch up and I can move it around so that it fits the entire pie dish. Oh, this piece fell off. I'll just reattach him right there. People get intimidated by pastry, but it's actually quite forgiving. Even if it rips, don't worry. Even if it looks a little bit handmade, well, that's all part of it. So now I'm gonna crimp the edge of this just to make it look a little bit prettier and more finished. That just means I'm gonna fold over the pastry all the way around to make a little bit of a lip. And then I like to just crimp the edges a little bit. This is just decorative and it's not necessary. You can also just leave it the way it is. Now, grab all that filling that I made earlier. Just give it one more good stir to make sure everything is nicely combined, and then pour it right into this pie shell. Now, remember how I had all those asparagus tips in there? What you want to do is kind of find a few and place them on top. Don't worry, this isn't hot or anything. But if you can find a few and just position them so you can see them, they will make the quiche look quite elegant and pretty enough for a cafe. Now into the oven. It starts at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then I'm going to lower the temperature to 325 for the rest of the cooking time. Look at this beautiful thing. Oh, I can't wait to eat this. This asparagus quiche is great if you make it in advance and let it chill just a little bit, but it's also fine right hot. Why am I even saying all this? Let's just eat it. Okay. That is so delicious. What a great, easy vegetarian weeknight dinner. This is my favorite quiche. Why don't you tell me how you like your quiche in the comments below? Remember, life is complicated. food shouldn't be. Happy cooking.